Thank you for being here. We heard Ranking Member Huffman talk about how this bill would damage the Endangered Species Act. I'm at a loss to understand how that happens. I've gone through the bill carefully, and there's much required on the part of the agencies to share information and to listen, but there's no opportunity for those who are invited to the table by virtue of this bill to dictate any outcome. So I'm a bit at a loss. Is there something I'm missing in this bill that, in your opinion, damages the Endangered Species Act?
Thank you for the question. No, there is nothing in this bill that would harm ESA law or policy. This does not change ESA law or policy. It just allows for those with direct impacts from decisions at the Endangered Species Act level to be able to coordinate with agencies and have input on the documents they draft and ultimately approve, but it does not change anything with ESA law or policy.
Right, and it seemed to me on page 2 of the bill, lines 13 through 16, it indicates that the covered entity, which is the irrigation district, if it so requests, you'd have the continuing and routine opportunity to discuss and submit information to the action agency, quote, for consideration. So it in no way dictates an outcome. Is that kind of what you're saying the bill is supposed to do throughout?
That is correct. And if we so request that consultation.
There's been some reference, and I think it was, again, by Ranking Member Huffman, to the non-involvement, according to him, of Indian tribes in the consultation process. But to your knowledge, have tribes been involved in the consultation process in the Klamath Basin?
Yes, they have. So tribes have something similar to what this bill asks for through trust responsibilities and government-to-government relationships with federal agencies. And in past consultation processes, they have been involved.
And if I recall correctly, the Endangered Species Act was really brought to play back in 2020, I think, 2010. It was a long time ago that it came into play, and that you guys have been dealing with it every year since, but not with the opportunity to come in and share the impact and your thoughts regarding how to balance the uses of water in that basin for the refuges. I went down and looked at them. It was really sad. I mean, because as you said, literally hundreds of thousands of geese and ducks no longer not showing up. And that was because there was no balance in the allocation of the water in that system. Do I have that right?
You have that largely correct, and it's been backed since 2001 that there have been decisions that have had far-reaching impacts to the entire Klamath Basin. And 2001 was the first year when there was essentially zero project or water delivery to the Klamath Reclamation Project, and then again in 2021. And what we have seen during that time is that when water has been largely restricted from the land, that has far-reaching impacts not only to our farmers and ranchers, which are a huge piece of the economy, but also to the wildlife refuges and for wildlife that depend on the lands within the project and the basin broader.
It's interesting, the reference you have made to the trust responsibilities is, I think, reflected in the Administrative Order number 3206 that I referenced earlier. And it specifically says whenever the agent, and this is in regard to the agency's requirement to respect Indian tribal rights. And it says whenever the agencies, bureaus, and offices of the departments are aware that their actions planned under this act may impact trust resources, the exercise of tribal rights, or Indian lands, they shall consult with and seek the participation of the affected Indian tribes to the maximum extent practicable. Now, you're not asking for that. You're asking just that you be given a place at the table. You're not asking for the huge requirements contained here, which, by the way, I don't dispute. I'm just trying to draw a comparison between that which you're asking for, a modest opportunity to be involved and be told what's going on so you don't have to sit around and wait. I really appreciate your support and your traveling out here.